Hello everybody. Today we are going to read the lesson Adventures of Don Quixote. In my last video we discussed about the country Spain. Then I told you what knights were, and I also told you the meaning of the word adventure. Along with that, I also said that in my next video we are going to read about an interesting Spanish man named Don Quixote. I hope you all remember the qualities of a knight that I discussed in my last video. So, a knight should be brave, he should be honest, he should be strong, and he should be ready to fight for the people around him. Let's read the lesson. But before that, I want you all to sit with your textbooks and a pencil. Let's begin. Adventures of Don Quixote. Many years ago in province of La Mancha in Spain, there lived a very queer gentleman named Mr. Quixote. He was very tall, thin man of about 50 years. All day Mr. Quixote would sit in his little library and read exciting stories of knights and their adventures. He was so absorbed by these tales that he spent many sleepless nights reading and thinking about what he read. Lack of sleep made him so muddle-headed that one day Mr. Quixote said to himself, "Why should I always be a farmer? I will be a famous knight errant and fight against the evil wherever I find." So he dressed up as a knight and decided to call himself Don Quixote. "I shall ride my horse like a knight. He will carry me most gallantly. I will give him a high-sounding name. His name shall be Rocinante. In Latin, the word means previously a common horse. Everybody will understand that he is now no longer common but very uncommon." "But there's one thing missing," thought Don Quixote. "Like all other knights, I must find a squire who will follow me on my journeys and look on while I fight like a hero." So he went to a poor laborer in the village called Sancho Panza. This man had a hard life, a lot of work and not much money. He was honest but simple. "Sancho Panza," said Don Quixote, "I am a knight and I wish you to be my squire. I promise that one day everyone will be talking about our achievements." "Wonderful, my master," said Sancho happily. "I will accompany you," said Sancho. "I will also bring my donkey, for I cannot walk much." Don Quixote was puzzled. He had never read about any knight whose squire rode a donkey. Yet he said, "You may ride him until I present you with a horse." Very early the next morning, the knight and his squire set out on their travels. Don Quixote said, "Friend Sancho, you must know that it has always been a custom of knights to conquer islands and put their squires over them as governors. I shall keep up the good custom." "Thank you, master," said Sancho Panza. Don Quixote felt that he was the most valiant knight in the world. Sancho Panza rode with his knapsack on one side of him and a leather bottle on the other side, his feet almost dragging on the ground. His mind was full of hopes of becoming famous. For some time they rode silently, because they were both thinking of a glorious future. After a while, Sancho Panza spoke. I request you, Sir Knight, be sure to conquer the island you promised me. I wish to govern a large one. Well, I'm thinking of improving upon the good custom, said Don Quixote. What if I should conquer 3 or 4 islands and set you up as a master of them all? Nothing would please me better, answered Sancho. While they were thus riding and talking, they came to a place where there were a great many windmills. There seemed to be 30 or 40 of them scattered here and there upon the plain. And when the wind blew, their long arms seemed to wave in the most threatening manner. Don Quixote paused in the middle of the road. There, there, he cried. Look yonder, Sancho. I see at least 30 huge giants, and I will fight all of them. When I have killed them, we will take all their wealth. What? Giants? Asked Sancho Panza, confused. Look, those who are standing in the field just before us, answered the knight. See their long arms. I have read that some of them have arms that reach more than 2 miles. Look at them carefully, master, said Sancho. Those are not giants, they are windmills. The thing which you call arms are sails, and they flap around when the wind blows. Friend Sancho, said the knight very harshly, you are not used to adventures. I tell you those things are giants. If you're afraid, go and hide yourself and say your prayers. I shall attack them all at once. Without any word he spurred Rocinate and charged at the windmills. Stand, cowards, he cried. Stand your grounds. Do not run away from a single knight who dares to challenge you all to a fair fight. At that moment the wind began to blow briskly, and all the mill's sails were set moving. They seemed to be answering his challenge. He paused a moment. Heavens, he cried, help me in this dangerous adventure. He took out his lance. He covered himself with his shield and rushed with Rocinate to the nearest windmill. The long lance stuck into one of the whirling sails. With the force, it was swiftly pulled out of Knight's firm grasp. It was whirled into the air and broke. At the same moment, the knight and his horse were thrown rolling upon the ground. Sancho Panza hurried to the place as quickly his donkey could carry him. His master was lying helpless by the roadside. Master, didn't I tell you they were windmills? Cried the squire. Peace, friend Sancho, answered Don Quixote, rubbing the dust from his eyes. There is nothing so uncertain as wars. The wicked magician Freston, who stole my book, has done all this. They were giants, as I told you, but he changed them into windmills so that I should not have the honor of victory. But Sancho, I will have revenge on him in the end. I believe you, cried Sancho, as he dismounted from his donkey. He lifted the fallen knight from the ground. He brought him his shield and his helmet. Then he helped him remount his horse. The sun was now sloping towards the west. The knight and the squire continued onward in search of another adventure. Children, I hope you enjoyed the story. We'll have another discussion related to the text in my next video. Till then, I want you to read the complete lesson on your own and underline the new words that you spot. Till then, take care and stay safe.